Hello, and welcome to another edition of One Bad Veggies Root Beer Review, where this week, I don't know who Chumlee is, and at this point, I'm too afraid to ask. To be perfectly honest with you, I did actually have to look up who Chumlee is. Never heard of him before. This is another Rocket Fizz promotional root beer, like Gene Autry, like we did in the past, which was weird because Gene Autry's been dead for a very long time, but for some reason they have a root beer named after him. Chumlee, however, still alive, apparently from Pawn Stars, which I've heard of, never seen in my entire life, but that's apparently who the guy on the bottle is. This is going to be kind of the first one since Gene Autry that I think I've done that would be the first Rocket Fizz root beer I've done since Gene Autry. So I'm interested in finding out if all the Rocket Fizz labeled root beers, especially the ones that are labeled as promotional, like for Kiss or whoever may show up, I don't even know at this point, if they're all basically just the same formula, just in different bottles, kind of more as like a collectible rather than specific brews for specific promotional reasons. So we'll get into it right away. So let's get into the ingredients right now. And first thing I noticed was that like kind of the wording of like artisanal water, carbonated water, and natural cane sugar. Like for some reason it's trying to use certain words. I'm not going to call them big words or anything like that because they're not big words. They're just, and they're not even fancy words. They're just not words that more words that you would see in like health drinks or something like that, not like a root beer, especially one that's like based off of a guy from a reality show. But I thought that was particularly funny. Let me take another look right here. Pure cane sugar. Oh, ester gum. Also ester gum. Had to look that one up. Apparently it's just a preservative like citric acid would be, that works alongside the citric acid, because that's the only reason why you would put citric acid in something like a root beer, is for preservative reasons. Otherwise, nothing crazy going on with the ingredients. I'm like I said, I'm a little bit interested in seeing if this just ends up tasting a lot like the Gene Autry root beer or not. But I guess we'll go ahead and find out in a moment. Go ahead and give this one a little bit of an open and a little bit of a... Oh, that one opened easy. Okay. Interesting. It's smells a little bit like licorice. So that's the first thing I noticed right away. Well, actually, no, the first thing I noticed was just kind of like the normal kind of sweet, sugary kind of smells and stuff like that. But like the, I don't know what you would call it, like the after smell or whatever, was definitely licorice. So I'm wondering if this one has like a real strong kind of anise touch to it. But also, anyone who wants to correct me if I say anise all the time. It could be anise. I've heard people say anise. Maybe I'm wrong. I will find out myself. All right, let's go ahead and get to the pour and head. All right, so here we go. Chumlee, let's go ahead and see what you got. I'll tell you what, we've been on a real roll with root beers that just fill the whole mug up all the way to the top. And, you know, I used to use a smaller mug, then I decided to get a bigger mug because I kept on having these overflow problems. And, well, guess what? It doesn't seem to be stopping at all. It's actually, that's impressive. I mean, that's, again, let's go ahead and get a little taste of what that tastes like. I'm going to assume right off the bat, probably tastes a lot like licorice. Let's see. And yes, it does. So, I mean, I'm already preparing for it. I don't know. I've been surprised in the past. Let's hope it's another surprise. But I think I know where this is going. I think you know where this is going. So let's see if it goes there. All right, let's go ahead and do our taste test. So the first thing I can say right away, it definitely actually does not taste like the Gene Autry root beer, which is the first thing I was wondering about. All the Rocket Fizz root beers are just the same formula under different bottles. They're not. Like, at least so far, they're not. This one tastes pretty distinctly different from Gene Autry. I remember Gene Autry being kind of like a sweet, and, you know, I don't remember it being too much of anything, kind of just middle of the line. But this one is definitely leans towards the licorice side, like I said before, which means it's not going to be one of my favorites. However, it doesn't fall too far that way. It doesn't lean too hard into that. I've had other root beers that are almost like drinking like licorice juice. That's the best way I can put it. This is not that, but the aftertaste is definitely less sweet, less creamy, more licorice. So if that's your thing, you'd probably like this. But it's not my thing. And so we'll get to the review in just a second. Overall thoughts on this one, like I said, if you're into the licorice sort of leaning root beers, like a Virgil's or something like that, spoilers, we haven't reviewed Virgil's, but we'll get there. If you're into those, this would probably rate much higher on your scale. These root beers are all based on my personal taste, and the way that I grade them is based on my personal taste. So in this case, I am going to give this one a D. But it's hard for me to say there's anything bad about it specifically. Like, it's just not hitting the right notes that I like to see hit in a root beer. That said, it doesn't do them so wrong that I would say it's absolutely undrinkable or anything like that, at least to me. It's actually just fine. It's just not one of my favorites. So I'm going to stick with a D. Maybe you would say it's a high D if we had higher Ds, like a D plus or something. But we don't. So it's just a regular old D. So that's it. And also, while we're at it, and this is ending, I'm going to go ahead and take the time to say that I'm starting to play around with other live streaming things. I've been live streaming some Gunpla, as you can see on the doors there. I am a big fan of the Gundam series and of model making. So I've started sort of live streaming my Gunpla. It's kind of like a chill. If you want to ask questions, you can ask questions. Not a lot of talking or anything like that. Just kind of a chill, kind of like hang out, watch someone build a model. So if you're interested in that, feel free to watch. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you had a good time.